my opponents. The ban on plastic is necessary. It is vital. It needs to be done. Thank you.
Once again, I call upon you to enjoy this massive debate that we are going to have today. The debate shall be between Nova Pioneer Girls High School with the Mango High School. It was a nice championship that was organized by the Great Debators Championship that moves all over the world, and especially it's performing its duty here in Africa. But before, I would also like to give you some of the updates that we have so far achieved as far as this week is concerned. Remember, the month is ending, and on July this week, July 31st, I have my birthday party. I would wish to also have this good song that was dedicated to me, also dedicating to you, my viewer, who was born in July. Or if you have a friend who was born in July, especially the date of 31st, I really send you this song before we go any further.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you.
Alright, once again from that song, I request you send my cake. My number is just there. You toast just a cake, a simple cake. Some of you can actually send even more than a cake. I'm just waiting for my prizes by the end of the day. Okay, as we continue, the debate has fared well, especially along the world. Let me take you to the World Schools Debate. The World Schools Debate is performing its duty. Remember, debate cranes happened to also be part of this, and they represented Uganda. The round one is what you're seeing on screen, that this house supports strict state secularism in Western liberal democracies, and this was between the cranes and the Nepal. So it was a very good debate, though we may not show you, but you need to keep posted. Again, the debate cranes met Poland in round 8, where the motion was, this house opposes attempts by the feminist movement to redefine traditionally feminine roles and behaviors as empowering. They say, e.g. wearing makeup and heels, wanting to be a housewife and so on. So it was interesting, and we are praying for them so that they bring the trophy back home. Benon Mokwaya is my name once again. We are still enjoying as we get more updates. As I told you that in this month, as it ends, I have my birthday. I joined the learners of right from year 5 to year 10. I joined them at Sanyu Babies Home, and these were Giant Panda Kindergarten and Daycare here in Bwebaja. So they donated various gifts with me. Actually, we gave the babies, so we loved this. We loved the time we were with these babies. We also sang certain songs. These kids taught me certain songs because they were like, baby shark do 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 do. So if you know that song, join me. And we have some simple clip as we met these babies at Sanyu Babies Home.
And why we are here is to donate to them. I encourage all of you to come and donate.
Again, I actually call upon you people to go and donate. These are kids that are homeless, they are parentless, and parents, please don't leave such souls. Why could you really give birth and leave the baby in the hospital or throw him or her on the streets. That is so bad. Okay, allow me take you to this wonderful debate of the Great Debaters Championship of Africa. I said we are going to enjoy a Nova Pioneer High Girls School, Nova Pioneer Girls High School versus Mangu High School. It was really an international championship that everyone loved. Actually, myself, I loved it and I enjoyed it, and I know they are watching because we broadcast all over the world.
Cries have been felt, but the volume is way too up to silence the cries. I, Faith Marindich, echo these voices by proposing the motion that states boarding schools should be banned. Boarding schools, familiar, right? Boarding schools are schools that provide education for children who live on the premises. Now, the motion at hand is telling us that we must completely stop the existence of boarding schools, stating boarding schools should be banned. When one is placed in boarding school at a young age, they tend to think that their parents don't love them, and in the end, they harbor resentment towards them, which makes them turn to their peers seeking advice. But what are they seeking? Are they seeking good advice? Are they seeking bad advice? Do we really want our children to think that we don't love them? A study conducted in 2013 by the University of Nairobi, the Department of Psychiatry, it revealed that students who go to boarding schools are likely to have confusion, and they're likely to develop psychopathology. Do you want your child to develop psychopathology? It also revealed something very crucial: suicidal behavior. Students who go to boarding schools at a young age are likely to develop suicidal behavior. Do parents like their children to develop suicidal behavior? Do you want your child to go to school to attain education, or to go to school that gives them a property to develop suicidal behavior? No, we want our children to prosper. We want them to go and be future leaders, future innovators. But taking them to boarding schools, not a good idea. Well, let me tell you, Roald Dahl, who was sent to boarding school at a young age, a very young age, it affected him in his future life. How? It made him change his writing to sadism. This is a clear effect of taking students to boarding schools. We should let children be children. Let them have that bond with their parents. Let them be connected. Let's not lie to our children. Let's not make them face a bad future for themselves. Now, let's think about the future at hand. It is time for these voices to be heard. It is time to awaken the cries of the unheard. And by the unheard, I mean...
My name is Sean Kenodia from Mangu High School. And today I stand here to oppose the motion that boarding schools should be banned. But when we look at this, I'd first like to oppose what my dear proposer has said, that boarding schools give students a proper breeding place for psychopathologic issues. But I have a question. This great school we are in, the motto is thinkers, leaders, and doers. And I also believe that some of these boarding schools give great people, especially in our country. For example, His Excellency Mwai Kibaki came from the Mangu High School, which is a boarding school. My second point, that boarding schools encourage diversity, cultural diversity. People from different parts of the country come together and show the fact that they are different. It encourages you as a student, or the person as a student, to accept that diversity in people and to be able to interact with them even at higher levels of life. I also believe that through boarding schools, students are able to concentrate more in their studies. Why? You will hear that there have been floods in Machakos of late, floods in the Ukambani region of late. But students who have been in school have no reason to be worried. Why? They are staying in school and therefore they get their quality education from there. Not worrying, how will I go to school tomorrow with these floods? They've destroyed how I'll go to school. Also, schools provide better facilities than day-going schools. I can say for a fact that there are some students who do not have access to fields like this. There are students who don't have access to musical instruments. They will be able to develop their talents and their own characters as human beings or as a whole to become a better person in the society. I also believe that high schools or that people who go to boarding schools become more endurant because they are able to cope through things that happen to most adults in life. Therefore, when they are released towards the world, they are able to cope with these things, look for specific ways to go through their life without shedding too many tears. That was Sean Kenodia from Mangu High School.
Second proposer, you have 3 minutes for your rebuttal.
This is Daniela Crystal Alang from the Nova Pioneer Girls High School, here to represent not only myself, but also the thousands of children suffering because of this cancer that's eating up our young minds and our future generations, this cancer that is called boarding school. Now, one of our opposers said that the boarding school system has produced great leaders, influential leaders. And of course, I do not disagree with that. But ladies and gentlemen, have you ever taken your time to think about those minds that could have been great? Those minds that could have made a difference in our country, they could have changed the world. But because of boarding school, because of the abuse and the emotional and mental trauma they went through, they weren't able to accomplish their full potential. This boarding school, it's eating up our future generations. It is destroying our future leaders, and in return, it's destroying us. Research shows that over 72.5% of people who have gone to boarding school have experienced not only physical and mental, but also sexual abuse. Do you know what type of effects those could have on a child, a young mind that is still developing? Let's not forget that this child has been detached from their parent. And of course, they might not have enough emotional support to make them go through this. This leads to things like depression, low self-esteem, low academic performance, and suicidal thoughts. Suicide. According to the World Health Organization, it's one of the leading causes of death among school-going children. Let's not forget that these are the minds who are able to make a difference in the world. But what are we doing to them? We are slowly destroying them. Is this what we want for us? Is this how we are going to develop as Earth? How are we supposed to ensure healthy lives and well-being for all at all ages if we keep on allowing them to go through this type of suffering? In 2015 only, there were over 120 cases of schools being burnt down. Not by people from outside, but by the students who go to that school. Now, students don't just wake up and decide to burn their school down. This pressure, this emotion builds up over time. It is caused by long periods of suffering, bullying, social stratification. These are the type of things that are affecting our young children today. Do we want this? Is this what is going to help us grow and develop as a nation? How are we supposed to make sure that they have quality education if they are being abused, if they are being tortured? Countries like USA, over 80% of their of their schools are day schools. And yes, of course, boarding schools have produced great leaders, but what about Barack Obama? What about Steve Jobs and Abraham Lincoln? They went to day schools, and they have been able to make one of the greatest differences this world has ever seen. This is why we need to ban boarding schools. And after that, it's easy. Our future is pretty much guaranteed. My name is Daniela Lang. Think about what I've just said.
I'm Brian Titus, the Mangu High School, ready to oppose the notion that boarding schools should be banned. First, a question to the proposers. As children walk home, we have had cases of sexual abuse. Will this sexual abuse on their way home cause any less a traumatic effect in comparison to that happens at school? I'm not justifying boarding schools. And as for bullying, even school-going, day school children experience bullying. I'm going to keep it simple. Most of us have cell phones. Some of us are not liked in school. And with these cell phones, when you're at home, for most schools in boarding, they are restricted. But when you get home, there is cyberbullying that has really been on the rise for the past couple of years. I propose that boarding schools stay, not for the wealthy, but for people of the lower class in the society. If you are to consider that children are actually trying to stay in school rather than go home, they are afraid. Children between the age of 8 is too young to go to boarding, but yet he or she is still trying to stay there, just so that they can avoid their parents at home, they can avoid torture, they can avoid early marriages, so that they can avoid female genital mutilation, to avoid being recruited into groups that will not help this child himself grow. In real honesty, parents themselves are actually looking for chances to go to boarding schools and stay there in areas such as Samburu and Turkana. This is so funny because such schools provide food and shelter, which is better than the life that they are experiencing back at home. I am asking you all to think as human beings. Banning is not the solution, but we would rather look for others. I'm Brian Titus, Mangu High School. Thank you.
You're still watching, and I think by now you know who will be the best debater and what will be, or who will be the best speaker in this debate. Allow me to take you to a very short break, then we are coming back. You're enjoying the Echoes of Expression with Benon Mokwaya. Yeah, we are coming back.
You realize, my opponents, the ban on plastic is necessary. It is vital. It needs to be done. Thank you.